So we need to talk about last January. This is my take and experience with JAMuary. Just some stuff I've been reflecting on since earlier this year. Today is Saturday, December 31st, and time really got away from me this year. I had some creative goals that I didn't quite meet this year for various reasons. But I'm still really happy with what I've managed to share on this page. The highlight, though, by far, were all of the JAMuary sessions that I took part in. See, I started guitar lessons back in grade school, and I'd spent years in high school and college playing in different bands, but for all that time with music, I could probably count my personal creative output to just a handful of songs that I'd come up with on my own throughout that time. So when the band practices stopped happening, all my music gear just started to collect dust, got sold off. I kind of wrote off being a musician for several years of my life. And that's actually what spurred me to start this channel, just to have a place to make music for the fun of it, with no grand goals. I figured the social, discoverable aspect of this place would be just enough to make me want to make stuff that was worth listening to. Still, the idea of committing to something like JAMuary was not anywhere in my comfort zone. But peer pressure prevailed from the community that I found here. See, on my own, I tend to sit down with my gear at least a few times a week and dabble, but not with any sort of plan, and only when it's, perfectly convenient. And it's always cool when you stumble on something that's inspiring enough to record or work on, but we all know that doesn't happen every day. And the last thing I feel like doing is recording and sharing something that I don't really feel that strong about. The JAMuary experience made me reevaluate the bar that I was using to judge my own output. There were so many ideas from those sessions that I really want to revisit in a more concentrated context, and still will. Each session felt like a little challenge for me to figure out, and then a little triumph whenever it was completed. It made me question if waiting for inspiration to strike is really the best way to go. Maybe it's better just to conjure it instead. I found myself thinking a lot. How can I make something that's worthwhile? What gear combos, effects, what techniques are worth exploring? That spilled over to non-jam time with what melodies am I thinking of? What sounds are in my day? What's worth sharing? And this spilled further over into, how can I make each day worthwhile? I made it a priority in my non-music time to check in with my family, check in with myself, laugh, play with my kids on the floor. Not that this was like a new thing for me, but I am guilty of sometimes treating days as filler, especially those days in January when it's just dark, dreary. Maybe creating a holiday there is the right idea. Also, not surprising to anyone, I'm something of an introvert. Ideally, I need 23 hours a day of quiet and solitude to feel my very best. I'm really bad about setting aside and claiming that time for myself. JAMuary helped me to set a boundary and to claim that time each day to be creative, but also making sure I was doing my part outside of that, so as to not feel selfish about my commitment to, a pretty silly goal.